Hello and welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to be trying to speak in my deeper voice, and part of this is trying to train myself to speak like this way naturally, because there's a part of me where it's kind of like habit and kind of like this being, not what I'm used to speaking as. And it does feel like that kind of anxiousness and nervousness that comes with presenting myself in a different way, and kind of like half trying to like pay attention to speak this way, and also half pay attention on the topic that I'm going to be speaking about today. So this is one of my training videos and for myself. But at the same time, in order to make things productive and efficient, I'm going to be speaking about a particular topic, one that I already know, and going to just be working with that. Well, it's going to be about my experience within doing research and how I am in the moment when I'm Googling something or looking something up or working with some material or just something that's new that I don't know anything about. Okay. So, um, so for me, when I think about this, having a skill that's like a research type of a skill, um, and then people telling me that I have that kind of skill, the first thing that comes up is my memories of all the times that as a kid, when I was like, even I think it was 7 years old, my parents owned a computer for their business, one of those really old computers. They're with the, what's the name? Beige color. The beige color that, those big ass screens with the hard drive, and it's very beige colored on the outside. And I would mess around with the computer at first, playing Minesweeper and just like playing these little video games that I think our dad showed us how to get them. It was a website that was free, and we download these games. And so we had the computer, and then the business shut down, but we kept the computer in our house. And so, I grew up through elementary school using this computer. And there were times where things just didn't work. I didn't know what to do, and I kind of just had to just figure it out. And I remember learning how to Google for the first time and doing all that stuff. And just simply, the computer is one of those things, if you've used one, I'm sure, where you've had moments where you're facing a situation, you don't know what you're doing, a problem happens, and you're like, oh fuck, what do I do? And you figure it out, and you want to pull the hair out of your head. It's like confusing. So, I've had plenty of those moments, and it's like in those moments, I like feel the stress, feel the frustration, but then I kind of just work through the problem where kind of like, I know I'm feeling this way, but you see me, I look calm, right? I'm just working, I'm just doing what I have to do. And eventually I find the solution. And yes, I play with it. Yes, I kind of like figure, okay, what does this mean? What does that mean? And it's simply just throwing myself in there and then just trying it and just figuring it out along the way. And there's always a way, and I always find the solution eventually. It's the same kind of approach that I use within mathematics, because oftentimes that's even a technique called trial by error, where you have to just keep trying different things, see that it's wrong until you find the right one. That's even a specific technique where there's no other way but just to try all the different possibilities and to see if it's the right solution. And And even with having a very challenging puzzle in math where it's like the last question on the homework, where it's the toughest one, where you kind of have to figure it out, where you're kind of frustrated, where you're annoyed, you're reading the problem, and you're trying to find the solution. You just can't. But I stick to it, and I keep doing it, and then I get it eventually. And yeah, sometimes it's half an hour of just focusing on that problem, and then all of a sudden you have a eureka moment where you just know what to do, and or you just see that, oh, this is what it is. You understand the trick involved. You understand the thing that makes it solvable and understandable. So I've had that, since I was a kid. Um, I suppose you can say I just trusted. I had a trust for the adults in my life. I trusted my teachers. I trusted my parents. And I trusted math. And I trusted the computer. Because I trusted that the person who created the computer and created math and created the word problem for me, that there is a solution, there is an answer, and I have to find it, or I can find it. It's not an impossible situation. So I just have to understand it. I just have to think about it in terms of their perspective, of the one who made it. And that has also been a thing that has helped me, where I think, okay, if I were to have created this, how would I have done it? And oftentimes that's what I find in these kinds of systems, not only in computers or math, but also in instruction manuals for building objects like furniture, or instruction manuals for the television, or any kind of like gadget or technology kind of thing. And that technique has helped. Now, these things you may not see to be very connected to other things, but these are all connected. All these skills I just mentioned, all these techniques are all important and are all part of my tool belt for whenever I'm faced with a problem or situation. Because if you look at what research is you have a question. And a question is something you don't know, which is just like a math problem or any problem. And a problem is meant to be solved, just like a question is meant to be answered. So to investigate is to solve the problem or to find the answer to a question. And so that's the very basis of even anything, really. A question about anything in any field, in school or academia or in life, or we're always asking questions. So looking more practically in terms of a recent situation where I had investigated on a forum a legal situation, trying to find out the answers to a legal situation. I was already having the intuition, which is kind of just based on experience that I have had, such as the intuition of someone having created a computer and how they would have created it or how I would have done it. So the intuition, kind of tells me that I know that there must be a forum out there for this website, or at least there could be. So I Google the forum, trying to like Google, okay, forum, and I ask the question like, okay, what happens in this situation? And I put myself in the situation of the other person, where it's like, okay, Googling, there's a forum. What happens if my guests break $20,000 worth of stuff? Then I Google that, and then there's like the first two answers on Google is that. Then I Google from the other perspective. What happens if my host accuses me of breaking, $10,000 of stuff? Then I, Google that, put the name of the website, and I, just the forums pop up. I put the forums, the name of the website, and the question. And I even play with that if I need to, like if I don't get what I want, then I just, move it around. But, just knowing how Google works, that's I suppose is just a skill, like how to use the words and just putting yourself in different perspectives. And And then also, like from past experience, I just know that websites tend to have a guide. Like Google has a guide for their systems, like how to navigate Google Drive and how to navigate Google Docs, and they have step-by-step manuals, because that's what I would have done. I would have put manuals online to describe how to do things. So I just asked Google, like, how do you do, like, just basically write what I want to happen. Like a Google, how do you convert a Word document to Google Doc? I just Google that, and whatever pops up, the first thing, like, okay, and there's the answer. So it's really about knowing how to Google and how to like ask the question and kind of trusting, like, okay, if I were to have created information out there in a website, how would I have worded it? And sometimes it doesn't work, where I try to Google something and I don't find it. Sometimes it's just the nature of the websites, where I notice anything that relates to making a lot of money, such as selling cars and buying cars. Like I try to Google like how to repair something for a car. Some of these websites are just pure advertisement from individual mechanics that put misleading and misinformation. Which at first I try it out and I can take the information. Okay, I try to test it out, but then I find it's not really accurate or supportive. Only through experience, through testing it out, and then finding more helpful information, which tends to be YouTube videos in the case of cars, where individual people show you the part that's being replaced or the thing you're working with. And in that, I can trust more, because you see the actual car and the thing that's happening. And, but yeah, anything that's like not related per se to money, like open source materials and free things, like Google Drive is free, Google Docs is free, a lot of things that are Google is free. There's that more of there's not an incentive to make money off of you, so you won't have such misleading advertisement or information. So it's really just putting yourself out there, practicing, putting yourself in another person's perspective, kind of trusting that, and testing your trust, you could say. Just test it out and see what happens. And just reevaluate as you gain more information. And yeah. Very basic, huh? So that was my topic, and this was me practicing speaking this way, playing with it, and just trying to maintain it without feeling awkward about it or nervous about it, and just seeing what would happen. So I'm probably going to listen to this video again, like I do for pretty much all my videos, and just seeing what else I can learn from it and play with it. Like, for example, maybe I could have tried pronouncing better, which is something I'm doing right now. Maybe that would have helped. I don't know. But I'm going to see how it sounds, because I can only hear myself through my own head, which can affect, me not being fully aware how something sounds. So we'll see what happens. Another thing I probably could have done, which is to be more melodic and playful with my voice, going a little more up, not just staying down, like going a little higher and a little lower. Like, I don't know. I saw it as a tip, but we'll see. Step by step process, moment by moment, and just have fun with it. So, thank you everyone. Goodbye.